What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be working on the V Star again. Last video we got it running, wasn't running the best, had some misfires. It looks like it's coming from cylinder 1. So we're going to be pulling the carburetor today, seeing if there's anything gummed up in there. We're also going to be checking the intake boots and making sure that there's no cracks or anything. And we also still need a battery. I'm going to be getting one soon. But for now, we're gonna get the carb apart and we're gonna try to see if we can do it without buying a kit. The kits can get really expensive. So if we can get it apart and get it cleaned, it will be good to go. So let's get to it. We're gonna be taking a lot of parts off, so let's make a little bit more space. For what? So to take this carburetor out, we're going to need to take this air filter off and some of these intake pipes. We're also going to be taking the fuel tank back off. Over here on the other side, the throttle linkage got to come out. There's some more air pipes above the carburetor that need to come out. When you take the clamps off the carburetor, you need to twist the carburetor out. You have to take it out of the second cylinder and the first cylinder boots. And in order to do that, you need to twist them. I'm not going to be recording this because it's going to be kind of hard to record and do this at the same time. So let's get this carb out and see what kind of shit we can find inside. It's just really tight. Of course it's seized. Motherfucker. Oh yeah, this shit is fucked. The bolts are seized. All right, so as you guys saw, we were able to get the carbs out yesterday. I got them cleaned up as much as I could, but you know, we had those seized screws. Some of them are stripped out like this one here. So we weren't able to get them apart. But I was able to take the bowl out and get the floats out, gain access to the jets, pulled the jets out. Each side had a jet that was clogged. I was able to get that cleaned. I also pulled out the tops and got the diaphragms out. There was trash in the top and got them all cleaned out. Everything looks pretty good. You can hear seals pretty well. And the throttle snaps back pretty well too. So we're gonna put it back in and see if that was enough to make this thing run good. How did this thing go in? This was supposed to go on the carb first.
You know, as a mechanic, you don't usually work, or your best assets is not your eyes, it's your hands. Because you have to put things
in places? I have to put my fingers in places?
You have to
Is that what you're trying to say?
You have to put things, like right now, you couldn't see where you're putting it. So you have to use your fingers.
You put it in by feel.
There you go.
That's how you know.
Not by sight.
All right. We're gonna jump start it again. That's better already. All right, so the bike is actually running a lot better than it was. It actually wants to start this time. The first go around, it still didn't want to start, but after cleaning the carb, it definitely wants to start. It's still not running right. If you look closely at the clip, you can see I'm putting my hand over the exhaust and I'm trying to feel the rhythm of each cylinder. And number 2 is a nice, strong, steady rhythm. Number 1 has a hit and miss type rhythm. So there's still some sort of misfire happening. We know we're getting air, we know we're getting fuel. All that's left is spark and compression. And hopefully it's not compression, that would suck. So I'm gonna rip this thing back apart and do a deeper dive and see what we can find. All right, so we tore the bike back apart. We figured out what was going on. I had actually switched the spark plugs around and we still had the identical problem. So I knew the spark plugs were still good. After checking the valve lash and having the engine open, I found that the oil was very thinned out with fuel. So I decided to do an oil change on it. in order to do the oil change on this, it's kind of a pain in the ass. You have to take the number one exhaust pipe off. You got to take the right footrest off, as well as the master cylinder for the rear brake, just to take the exhaust pipe off and access the filter cover. So kind of a pain in the ass, but wanted to make sure that everything was good. When I did the oil change, there was no metal coming out. I strained out the oil as it came out to catch any debris, see what was in there, and there was nothing. I had checked the valve lash, I've checked the spark plug, and I had gone ahead and I ordered a new coil pack. That was pretty much one of the last things to really check before checking, catastrophic failure on the engine. One of the wires was a little bit brittle, so I had to rewire the spade connector for the coil pack. Put the new coil pack in, turned it on, just like that. The bike's running great now. It actually wants to start and it stays running and it's running good. So that's good. All that's left to do is put the covers back on and give it a really nice wash and post it up for sale. So keep an eye on Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp if you want to buy this thing. And thanks for watching. For what?